All right, welcome to episode 2 here with Inside the Locker Room with Raider Dad. I have a special guest today, and we actually weren't even going to do this because I forgot when we scheduled it that it was Father's Day, but Marcus actually insisted on doing this podcast today. Welcome, Marcus. How you doing today?
I'm just great. Happy Father's Day.
Yeah, you too. We haven't really got to connect. We stayed in touch a little bit. Marcus actually runs a nonprofit youth organization with the Magic Valley Ducks. I believe I believe you're the founder, and I don't know if you consider yourself the president, but maybe just give our viewers a little understanding of what your organization is and what you guys do.
Yeah. So a couple of years, a few buddies of mine, dads, kids, we just got together, tired of the uh, nobody cared. It's at where we live. It's more about here's pay $5 here to teach, pay $150. You'll figure it out. There was no structure more than about sport. Getting the youth involved or connecting with them. Know that there's a safe, you know. And so we got what it would be to fit. I kind of just put in about 50 with work, and now we're creating safe kids, giving opportunity to any kid, whether from a background not so fortunate or where you were able to have things in life at all ranges of help any range. And we want to let them know that we're here for more than sports. We're here to help them through life.
Yeah, I remember whenever we first connected on this, it was the reason why whenever you came to me like, hey, I got some kids that could use this experience. And I thought the one thing that was really cool about both of our organizations is I guess you can say like the passion and the values of the organization kind of intertwined with each other. And I just want to give the viewers an understanding since you've watched Raider Dad from the beginning. Um, what's what do you see as the potential of Raider Dad? And we I haven't really had conversations with a lot of your people. How did that experience impact these kids?
Gives me good. Well, first off, it's just complete joy for me. Everybody that been a part of your organization, nice, it is a conversation up on the weekly about Raider Dad. See what Josh is doing, Raiders Dad. It's amazing what you do. Very, very continue to watch it grow. I'm very excited that I can tell that big, tell that what you're doing right direction. When people get on board, they're even if I don't know, it's watching it from afar, tell what you're doing, youth and fans. So moving forward from my organization that went in the parent, they just have nothing but great things to say. What it meant to them, take that trip that they'd never been to a Raider game. People that weren't Raiders were saying that it was just so amazing to have experience with their meant to their child, the happiness, the fun that they had. That's what it's supposed to be about, right? It's supposed to be great memories. Those are things that, and it was really neat, not just but their family who had never experienced that. The happiness. You went to our page, see some of the pictures posted, and some of the kids that it just says read what they post. You see and smile, whether they are at Raider game, their tailgate. The picture says it. But yeah, everybody that was able to participate in that, and even the ones that weren't able, they haven't stopped talking about it almost the internet.
Yeah, and Raider Dad is such. I know I'm always saying this, but Raider Dad is such an organization, a young organization that when we first started this, uh, when we invited you guys, our sponsorship program is, it was inspired by you guys because when we started it, we weren't really thinking directly to a certain target when it came to the kids for this experience because there's so many people that this can truly help. But by having you guys there, it opened up the door of, okay, we have this experience. Or I mean, at the time, we never really even thought it would turn into this. But
Yeah.
now, after that experience, we're like, like we can really help athletes when we were just thinking about helping people that don't have the opportunity. Maybe they don't have the financial stability. Maybe they're going through things that, some of us, even if we think we understand what's going on, we truly can't relate. I personally, I try to relate to people that have, might be able to be going through cancer, but unless I'm the one going through that, I can't relate to that. Or, whatever situations that are coming to Raider Dad. There's just so many possibilities, but it opened up this possibility like we're not just doing this experience, we can literally go out in the community. And I don't know how, I'm sure you follow enough, but you can
Yeah.
see we have our first flag football team that we're sponsoring.
The Rebels.
That's kind of was motivated by you guys coming here. And let's talk about, what are some of the things that you as the founder and, run the, I guess, the director of your youth program, what are some challenges that you guys face when it comes to, is it just strictly funding, or what other, give our supporters, an idea of some things that Raider Dad could expand in to help people?
Yeah. In funding is out. You don't want to like the kids, basketball, volleyball, football, softball. The list can keep going. The reason why not so much a look from them, but you want them to be able to play comfortable, right? You want them to know that the shoes that they got for rest, best shoes they can get, and they're comfortable in that singlet. It's not something that's rolling up on them, keep pulling that, or football. Got the fourth best nation out of 25 ranked Utah, and it may be $3, but it protects their head, which is one of the most important things. So yeah, the fun definitely is probably the number one. The number two, just but and I don't mean to kind of okay, kid, here's some money, play coach him. We need everybody needs, whether you're on the side trash after you're at practice coach, whether you're stepping up to be that coach of the team, all these kids need, and whether you want to put in that work or not, I'm sure someone was there for you when you were young. So it's kind of like we all need to work together. So it's not volunteer that willing to do that, because nobody paid my organization. It's 100% profit. So that way we can get goes 100%, give these kids every opportunity to succeed. So I think that the biggest trouble, the funding, support, and then tears. And be like, I mean, it's difficult at home. We started, my wife was not happy. She was very supportive. I was working 50 hours a job and 50 get this stuff. It is insane. That's why the more support you have, I'll tell you what, this had us growing from one football team to 4 football teams, and then we have basketball starting. The support, I think it's because of what you're doing. Example, you started to set the standard, and people are watching, and causes a stir, and people want to jump on board.
Yeah, I just, I watch you guys, and I just see right from the beginning really connected with you guys, and I can just see, how much of an impact you guys are having on these kids. And, I can see other dads, maybe not to the level of passionate that you are, but I consider you, extremist. Like whenever I consider a Raider dad, like I'm extremely passionate about it, and that's what it really takes is a lot of passionate people coming together. Because even if you're really passionate and you're going to put your all into it, eventually you're going to hit a point where you can't carry the load any much. And I think I'm just really inspired by you because you guys are doing all kinds of different sports, and I understand what it could take. I don't truly understand because we're not doing everything you are, but I think a lot of people see what we're doing, and we throw on this great experience, and I think we put on a nice marketing for the program, but there's a lot that goes into something like this. And one of the areas that I wanted you to speak on is what has what has your program done for you? Like, what is the biggest impact? Of course, you're doing it for just the kids and stuff, but you know, if someone asked you, or I'm asking you right now, what's the greatest thing that it's done for you on a personal level?
It's definitely made me better. I love it, and it makes me feel that I'm able to be an example to my children, and that these kids know that everybody loves them. And so for me, it's fulfilling. It's very fulfilling. And I never had for it to make me whole as a person, to make me feel like, make me feel that I love myself. Um, Good question, John.
I don't mean to get you on this type of level, but for me personally, I'll tell you a little bit. Because I've never really done things in the community, and I'm not going to sit up here and say uh, I've been a perfect person my whole life. Um, but getting once you get involved in something like this, it's just like you just keep rolling with it because you can't really explain it. Like like this is all everyone that's connected in Raider Dad. It's just all passion, it's all commitment, and it's all people that just want to do something good. You know,
Yeah.
and I think it really, and then this goes along with you guys too. You don't have to be, some hold some special title. You don't have to have all the resources. I'm sure you guys started the same way. Maybe like when we first started this, a lot of people are like, "How are you going to do this?" And I think that why people gravitate to something like Raider Dad is, we all can relate as parents. Even whenever you're handed a kid in the hospital, you might know a little bit about parenting, but we don't really know how to parent, and we find that out. But there's one thing about parenting and Raider Dad is that we've just kind of figured it out, right? We know what we need to do, we know what we want to do, and at times, it's a slow process and it's getting people to believe in it, but eventually we figure it out, and we've been able to. I feel like we've been able to do a lot, and it just speaks to the people that are involved with Raider Dad. And it's not even just people directly, it's people like you. We can see the passion that you have for your own kids. And from the outside looking in, I don't want to speak for you, but I think what you do is you do more for other people's kids than probably you do for your own kids. And I can see by our this last couple minutes of this video, how passionate you are, how much of a connection that you have for them. And I just feel like on a personal level, it's done so much for you. That's why I really wanted to ask that question, because I just, I don't know you like a best friend, but by our conversations, you just kind of, you can feel that energy, and you probably can relate to this. Whenever we first started talking, it wasn't so much that, we had two groups that could come together for something good. It
Yeah.
was just like how much we related, and how much, our purpose and what we wanted to do was just right on track.
True. You can tell watching Raider Dad thing. I think that's why I love the relationship so much, because it really does what I'm doing here. See you do it, someone else do it, and see you do it. One of my favorite sports, obviously, right? But other things, you just don't know Raider. Other things, um, see what you're doing there. It keeps me inspired as well. Um, I have my fire still a big bonfire, keeps eroding where we continue to open. Um, but it definitely is continuing to influence me. Gosh, I'm so proud how far you guys are. Just so inspiring. Really neat to see youth that you get, even adult, because I mean, they're going to see having on their kids affect them and pop. So it's awesome, bro.
Yeah, I think it's reflecting on this. Our preseason event this year will, that's like basically the 1 year anniversary.
Yeah.
And I just really think, the thing about Raider Dad is there's just so many possibilities, Marcus. And it's like, where do like you want to do all these things, but like you kind of gotta slow down at times. And, I get so many messages, and like, and I appreciate the messages as far as like, hey, I got this. We could really use the help. And I think at times people think we're a bigger organization than we truly are. So I think that speaks a lot of volumes. But as much as we'd love to help everybody, we just really can't, until we get the whole
Support.
community behind us, because there's so much possibilities, especially now, because all our programs that we've established already, they all complement, and that's what I want any supporter, anybody that just follows Raider Dad, to understand that we're not just going through the motions. Yeah, at first we never even thought this was going to go anywhere, right? Or at least we knew it was going to be good for them, but like, honestly, yes, I think some people were actually believing in it more than I was in the beginning. Because, like, I knew it could be good for people, but it's really like we have the Raider Dad experience everyone loves because of Allegiant Stadium. But
Yeah.
that complements our sports program. And once we start getting into the community supporting more, that opens up the door, doing something like how you have your own team, or maybe some type of camps. There's just so many possibilities with Raider Dad. And I think that's what really keeps me committed to the process. And to go back to, like what it's given to me, I just don't think I think a lot of people view us as just like a tailgate party. And, like, a lot of people don't really understand what sports do for kids. And I'm not even saying I grew up that bad. I'm just saying the way I grew up, that I can understand what sports meant to me, and how sports can, there's people that have it worse than me, or, you know, there's a lot of situations that you need sports, and it gets you out of that life, or it motivates you to get through things, or even the characteristics of sports, overcoming obstacles, defeats, uh, trying to improve in all areas of your life. Sports teaches, that's what we're doing. We're not just
Yeah.
having fun using sports, doing tailgates. We're giving people the opportunity that they can apply to their own lives. And that's one of the things about Raider Dad is when we incorporate families and we incorporate sports, it has an even bigger impact. And I'm sure you do this in your own organization.
Well, what you're doing using this positive way. Sports should be fun, positive. That way, it's making kids, athletes, interested. And yeah, to touch on like your background, I was one of those kids that was very fortunate. Um, we very, very, very poor. The left of us in two bedroom house, all of my siblings in and out of, as far as being arrested and in trouble. I was the only kid bored, and I'm successful. I'm doing well in life, and I contribute because of the sport, because of wrestling, because of football. I did some lacrosse and I did baseball, but those other two, I can't. Those are big. Wrestling is going to teach you really how to have a yourself, because it's just you fighting through it. And then football goes hand. You have teammates. They're leaning. There's a lot of things you learn, and there's other sports as well, like basketball, volleyball. They have their back. I'm just speaking from my. But it's a lot more. It really is, because if you're going to practice or football practice, and you're not going to put effort to get better, what does that say about you? And if somebody's not going to get better, how are you going to pass? How are you going to move out? You're going to be like, no offense, he's 39, has 3 kids, lives with my aunt, doesn't have a job. We want our children to be successful. We want them to be able to try learn life out these things. And I believe, my opinion, it starts with going through something a little tough, sports.
Yeah, and you know, doing things like this, you just want it so much more for other people. And I think one of the things that I don't really talk about a lot is something like this. This makes you analyze, you know, am I is there areas in my life that I can improve on, no matter. And I think a lot of people think that at times, if they don't truly know me, or they don't know the people in the organization, or they don't truly understand what we're doing, is like we're trying to say that we're perfect dads, mothers, or whatever role that uh, we play in kids' lives. But that's you don't get the mission of this. Like, this is, there's been times where I'm sitting here and I'm like, am I doing this with my own kids? Or like, it teaches me even lessons, because uh, you know as far as my son, he's not passionate like me at this point about sports. I've always been this way. I was always that weird kid. It was always sports. I don't watch TV. If something's on TV, I'm listening to sports.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but and I had to. There was a point last season, because I take my son to every game. The the background on this story, and how this came about was, I was taking my own son there, and there was a moment last season where I he didn't really want to go there, and I was like forcing him, and then I had to like step back and be like, okay, like, this is one of those teaching moments for myself where I'm like, you know, I got to do some things that he wants to do. So, there's a lot of things that Raider Dad does for me. And, it impacts a lot of different areas of my life. I'm sure you can really relate to this also. There was moments that uh, I believe it was the home opener. After I took my wife to the home opener, she didn't make it to the preseason game. We didn't. My wife didn't even know what was really going on at the time. We were just trying something, and then after that, she's like, "I want to go." And I can remember we came home, and this is how it impacts my family. There's a lot of different ways. My wife's upset when we get home, and I'm like, we just had a great time at the tailgate. We just had a great time at the game, and I thought something was wrong. But then she's like, breaking down, well, why do kids uh, have have to go through this? So there's just so many ways that when we're involved in things like that, how it impacts not only myself but the people close to us. That's where I really see the true value in this, because there's just so many, I guess, learn ways to learn, ways to, add these aspects to your own life. It's not just about the organization, or it's not just about a sport. It's about bringing it all together and applying it to our own lives to improve us as people.
Yeah, Josh, you hit the nail on the head there. I think in today's age, they're so worried about what everybody wrong or what they don't like going on in the world. Instead of sitting down, how they can help people around. I feel like if many more organizations our own, where there's passion and commitment and dedication to the youth, and that the world would have a different today. And I mean, this change in the next 5 years, and maybe ever. But I feel like more influential organizations like you and I do, I think people would quit worrying about why are you driving a Ford, why I drive a Chevy. You know what I mean? It's silly.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I mean, honestly, like, I think communities, I don't know how I want to actually say this. I think that there needs to be a lot more organizations. I'm not even saying need to be like us. I'm just talking about the good in the organization,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of issues in the community, especially when we're talking about the youth, and especially when we're talking about sports. And that's what led us to this sports sponsorship program. I've
Yeah.
said this before. There's a lot of times we have this conversation about what we didn't have, what kids today need. We know what the problems are, but whenever we start talking about the issues and trying to find solutions, that's where the conversation ends, and that's where Raider Dad. There needs to be more organizations such as Raider Dad to continue that conversation. And who's going to, lead this, especially in Las Vegas, because sports weren't here, and I don't. I know people love sports. I know people understand sports, but when sports have been in a community for a long time, more people relate to it. And I think that's one of the challenges that we have here at Raider Dad. It's, why we started this was to create that culture here in Las Vegas. And I won't be surprised if there's more organizations coming up after they kind of see what we're doing. I think people are going to start to catch on and be like, this is truly some great stuff.
Well, it is. Because like we keep saying, introducing sport or introducing, now instead of get at home and watch whatever it is, you're going out and making memories with the family. 3-4 years, quit doing Christmas. We decided to and take a trip with the family, and we those memories with them a lot more. Opening up 2 years from now, I'm not going to remember that. I still have it. So we're doing a lot more than just.
Yeah, let's go that route. Now, I'm not saying it had to be a Raider game, but was there anything, because you really, you love the idea of Raider Dad,
Oh yeah,
love the organization, and what we stand for and what we provide people. I never really thought about this until recently, but like my first game wasn't a Raiders game. But was there? What was like your first experience? Was it a Raider game, or what type of sporting event? And like, what do you remember from that day?
yeah. My first game too. So my mom worked for the and they got past Portland Trailblazers. Way up in the doesn't matter. So it wasn't like sweet. She was company. It was, hey, here's some tickets. So me and my brother went. It was the first sporting I do. My brother was 9, I was 10. Wasn't really into basketball, but when I fell in love with basketball. It was so cool to get my brother to watch a basketball area that I'm. And the impact, I got more involved in sport. I always loved um, at years when I like mom to do more sports. I needed to get involved in basketball, and that's when I started. Ball was at 10. So basketball was in season at the time when I sports again. So for me, it's real because professional athletes play sport. I'm hanging with other. I got this because mom and where she worked, and so it wasn't need a professional or anything like that. The moment I can remember filling my drink, forgot me. Everybody went crazy. Pointer that Sheed Wallace, and Damian stopped at the same time. They ended up winning the game, and because they got a free taco at Taco Bell, did in Portland, like we're going to Taco Bell. Oh, this is awesome. Not cool, right? But I will share my moment with you. I had never been. It was our decided to take. They had just opened. Had passed, and I made my wife had talked about it, and she's like, "All right, well, let's do this." December 20th, Broncos game. I'll get it out of the way. Found tickets. Didn't tell our kids. They opened up their morning. We woke up at 5 morning because 7-hour drive. They seen that it's and they both. That was our Christmas. What we had for Christmas on that. When we got to Vegas, at the Luxor, get to the game, the game really. They told us the game. I was like, oh man. But when we stepped at the stadium, and I can remember both of my kids, I had some tears on my face. It's my favorite. I'd never been, but my kid, that's what hit. I was like, this is cool. Why are my kids playing? We're sitting down, gives me a hug, and my daughter says, Dad, yeah. I said, when? I said, right. She started crying. I said, your first to us? It sure is.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great that that your first time, that was with your kids, especially when we're talking about something such as Raider Dad. But since it is Father's Day, uh, my own experience, I never really thought about, especially in the last year. I never. There's so much that goes on, and you're so focused on other people, right? You're not. I wasn't even thinking about my own until someone asked me, and I'm like, because it wasn't a Raiders game, and I went. I don't actually remember my first game, but I went to baseball games, and the first one that I truly remember that takes me back to where Raider Dad is, and I think like sometimes we don't really. Maybe we don't understand the moment when it's going on, and later down the life leads you to a different situation, and then you're like, well, that's why, I don't know what you believe in, why things happen. But
Yeah.
I remember going to a Cavaliers basketball game. And I don't know why this was whenever I was younger. Uh, Anytime I went to a sporting event, I wanted to see somebody because that's kind of what kids do. We like kids. I was a Jordan guy. I remember going to the game and he didn't play. But and it wasn't, and it goes to the same idea of Rated Dad. It's not so much, Make a Wish Foundation, front row seats. I can remember being at top. I remember, and it's funny because we started doing jerseys last year, and I can remember I got this. It was like I'm sure you guys use practice jerseys. You remember? I don't know if they still do that, but like
Oh
they
yeah.
did them as like a giveaway.
Big thing.
I remember wearing this. I think it was Sean Kemp on there. Back, it might have been. No, I don't exactly remember who the Cav was back then. Uh, but I just remember that moment, and it's funny that I do something like this because it wasn't that great, like front row seats or anything special happening. It was just that idea being in the stadium, and the person I was going to see wasn't even there. And you still just remember being inside that stadium, sitting down, looking. We were all the way up there, like, you know what I mean. And that's just one of the things why I love Raider Dad, because like it's just, we remember what it was like to be a kid. And I think that's why, another reason why I like Raider Dad is because it lets me be a kid again, right? You imagine what you would have wanted done for you when you were a kid. And this is the type of memories that I don't know how often you went to games, but what about the kid that only gets to go once in his life? We've heard professional athletes such as like MJ and Kobe Bryant, why they didn't sit out games was because of the kids that were taking the stadiums, because they only get one chance at this, and we we don't know what they're going to remember from that. So, that, I mean, now that I'm reflecting on it, it's funny that I never really thought about that till now. But years later, I'm over here reinventing that. So it's really something cool for me.
Yeah,
So
funny, both of our basketball game.
yeah, I know. I was thinking that too. Uh, I don't want to keep you too long, but I'm just gonna touch on our preseason game.
Yeah,
I think it's a great opportunity. I know you probably know. The One Nation Foundation is actually going to be uh, partnering with us for this preseason event, and it's really great to have a foundation. We just really want to thank them for everything that they've done for this. And one of the cool aspects is, there's not a lot of bigger organizations helping what we do. What we do is, a lot of what we're able to do is because of fan support. And I don't think a lot of people, especially like leading up to this, if the media is paying attention to what we're doing, we're putting a fan base on display, basically. There's so many Raider fans that just gravitate to this. And we wouldn't, I've never sat up here and said that this is all because of me, because I could do small amounts, but never to the level that we're doing. And it's just like the more we do this, the more people that are getting behind, and it's just all fan driven. And that's what the One Nation Foundation is. One Nation Foundation is a Raiders charity that was started by Murph and Jeff Swag. So why Murph started Raiders Fan Radio was actually because it was the idea of his dad made him a Raiders fan, and he passed it. He wanted to pass what was down from his father to other people, and he wanted to share his passion, his commitment to the team. That's why I really think this is a great partnership for Raider Dad, because that's what this is about. This isn't about tailgating. This isn't about putting a show on for social media. We could really care less about putting on the show. What it's about is when your kids came to us, all the families, any kid that comes to us, it's we don't know what that's going to mean to them. We do know it's going to create a memory, and somewhere down the line, these kids, they're going to have a bigger platform than me. They're going to go off. Hopefully, these kids are presidents of companies doing a lot of better things, and they're going to have more resources to pass forward what we've given them to the next generation. And I just really love that the One Nation Foundation is coming. They're actually bringing themselves to the game because they went to it, but they didn't know what we were doing last year.
oh,
And I've never met them. For them to reach out to us, that's a pretty big accomplishment in my eyes as an
that's awesome.
organization. Uh, it's going to be a really great experience. We truly don't know what to expect, but we're happy to have the One Nation Foundation to support what we're doing.
That's
Last year we
amazing.
took about 52 families. Uh, it's a little slower because of the Niners being the team. More people want to go see them.
Right.
Uh, we're aiming for about 50 teams. I think we're at 19 sets of tickets right now. Um, they're going to be there. We have the franchise coming to actually take photos and do another video for us. Texas Roadhouse has came on board, which is great. They're donating food. Of course,
That's
Las Vegas Rides. We're trying to keep, you know, the foundation of what our event is, what our organization is. Even no matter who gets on board with this, what type of sport, we just really want to keep the foundation of how we started. It truly was people like you that are passionate about not only sports but the Raiders that got us to this point. I'm really excited for this. I don't. Are you coming to preseason or do you
oh
have
yeah,
any plans?
oh yeah. I have. I'm gonna try to bring our duck kids. I know we have a duck coming to you, but yeah, I have 14 for the preseason game to be there to support Raider Dad again.
Yeah, that would be great if we could get. We're trying to get as many people. We're going to be in H lot again. Uh, I just really think that every year that we're doing this, we're just going to keep building. Eventually, we're going to get the community support, and there's just so many possibilities. We started with this event. Obviously, we expanded to more games, and
Yeah,
everyone wants us at every game. But you know as well as I do. It takes a lot of support to be able to do something at that level. And we're already thinking about the different possibilities. The athletics are supposedly that's a done deal or close to it. We're gonna move this into. I have a big vision, but like I can already see Raider Dad Alley out there. I'm actually going out to go see Jay and Stella. We're gonna do a tailgate out in Oakland, and we're just going to let people know, kids need sports, and if sports are leaving Las Vegas, that there's going to be Vegas Raider Dad to help create the opportunities for these kids. It's a little bit harder to bring people out of state at this time because we don't have that type of funding, we don't have that type of
yeah,
support, but there's just so many possibilities with Raider Dad. The thing about it, I have conversations with people, and they're like, Raider Dad is why would people support Raider Dad if you're bringing people from outside? But that's where you don't see the vision. Raider Dad, the Raider fan base is all over this country. What
yeah,
if we were bringing kids from all over, helping? Look at the kids in Oakland right now. We talk about things that we didn't have. They're ripping sports out of a city, and that's not the kids' fault. Somebody has to be there to ensure that they can still be motivated. Football programs, baseball programs, where are they going to go do that? We don't want them to go be Giants fans, go across the bridge. We want to keep them with our fan base, and it's not their fault. Raider Dad, somewhere down the line, can create that opportunity, and that's what we're going out to go hang out with Jay's Gourmet, spread the mission.
I lose you, Josh. Your mic might be off.
Yeah, I know. Phone call wouldn't get off. I really do appreciate you stopping by, sharing some stuff with us. And it's Father's Day. That shows plenty of commitment, passion for what we're doing for sports. Uh, Hopefully, we'll see you at the preseason game.
Oh, look for the duck bus. I'm getting a bus again. So.
Oh. All right. Well, let's reconnect here whenever you have some time. I hope you enjoy the rest of the day with your family. I really thank you for getting on with me today.
Of course, thank you for having me, Josh, and thank you for everything that you guys are doing. And I love it, brother. You guys are moving in a great direction.
All right. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Right on, brother. Bye.